Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. We're Joella and Helene. This is And Another Thing, a really new podcast that we are super excited about sharing with you. We hope that you enjoy this journey with us. This is episode 1. We're super stoked to be here.
Yeah, I am, but super nervous at the same time.
Super nervous because we're just two regular people who push play and hope that it's going to go well and don't really know what we're doing.
Two regular people. It would actually be interesting to see whether two regular people can press record, and I think I'm going to be excited even if we get a couple of listeners that aren't our friends and family, and I'm going to be like, oh my God, and especially if they come back for another week. Imagine, it will feel like I've got like a fan base and it might only be 1 or 2 people, but that's actually not the reason why we're doing it. We were doing it for us. But what happened was when we were at work, our staff like listening to our banter and they said, you guys should do a podcast. And we were like, yeah. And here we are.
Doing a podcast.
Yeah. So it took a long time. It wasn't just last week they said that, but.
No, they've been saying it for probably about a year now.
Yeah.
That we should do this podcast. And we've been saying that to each other too of, we should do a podcast. And then we were like, maybe we should do a podcast.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And then the next thing you know, we were buying equipment and we're like, well, we've got the equipment, so we may as well do a podcast.
Give it a go.
Yeah,
exactly. But the other reason for us is sometimes when we're working, because we both work together. I'm the manager of a cafe and Joe's is the other manager of the cafe. Sometimes we work together, but we don't actually see each other, if you know what I mean. Like we're friends working together, but it's so busy that we don't get time together. So this is our proper
hangout time
where we used to do go to the movies and then maybe not speak because the movies are on.
Because you're watching the movies.
But now this is I know that every week I'm going to spend this time with you, and I'm going to find things out about you that I didn't know before because, you don't delve into all of your family life.
Sure.
And then we're going to discuss all the funny things that happen in customer service, and I'm just going to enjoy my time with my friend and record it.
Yeah.
So
that everyone else can hear the conversations that we have in our friendship.
So that's it. And this is what we're doing.
Yeah. And then another reason too is to be able to share some experiences with you guys, our listeners,
those of you.
that you can kind of enjoy the stories that we can share about our lives working in the hospitality industry, which between the both of us is a couple of years that we've racked up.
Yeah.
And quite a few. In hospitality and customer service and what it's just like interacting with other humans when you're in that environment. And some of the stories that we have are super funny.
Yeah.
And some of the staff that we've worked with have been super entertaining.
Yeah.
And you might not know what it's like behind a counter when you go to a cafe. And so hopefully we can educate you and share some stories that we probably shouldn't share because you're like, maybe I don't want to go to a cafe anymore.
That's very true. Or maybe they just look at themselves and go, oh my God, I am that person.
Yeah.
It's like we'll just quickly fill you in that we have regulars, obviously, that come into our place all the time. And that's normally Monday to Friday. And then at the weekend, you get a whole different caliber of people in. And Joe and I have named them the weekenders. Mm-hmm. So they just don't seem to know where they are, have never bought a cup of coffee before. And
well,
so
they're the people that have never gone out in the week time because they're just doing their regular life.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we're going to go out on the weekend. We don't know what going out means. We don't know what it's like to go to a restaurant or a cafe. And we're just going to take our time.
We're going to live our lives and find some great places to go, and then they'll chip up at ours. Or what's it? It's not called chip up, is it? It's called anyway. Whatever.
What do you mean chip up? I understood what you mean.
Oh, chip up. Is it chip up?
And also, I'm going to interject here just for 2 seconds because you guys have never met us, but we've met us, and this is exactly what we do all the time. So I'm from New Zealand. Helen is from
the UK,
but both of us live in Canada and Southern Ontario, and so there are times where we'll be talking. And we'll say something to each other and it will be do you say that? I think I say that. Well, what do they say here? I don't think they say it here. What do they say? And then hence the banter comes of our relationship.
Of how we say it, what we do.
Yeah.
So it's chip up.
Well, I don't think it's chip up here in Canada, but
you understood that.
I understood what you meant. Anyway,
they decide that this cafe looks like a great place to go. and they come into the cafe, and then it's like this wondrous place. It's like they've come to Disneyland because they've never been before, and they look at the board and they're just, it's just a different energy on a weekend, and we have to try and help them. And
sometimes they don't look anywhere, and they're just talking to their weekender friends online, and then they get to the counter and they're like, "Oh,
what do you
I
have?"
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you serve here that's good? Which
And
is
then
a great
there's a big
question.
lineup of people. It is the busiest day, but it is a whole lineup of weekenders, I guess, so it doesn't really matter. And then you'll see a regular in line, and you're like, your usual, come to the end, I'll get it for you. So you don't have to line up behind people that
Just
are
pay
asking.
us on Monday when you see us again.
So you haven't got to line up behind people that are saying cups of chino and lats. Anyway, so there's some entertaining weekender stories for sure coming your way.
And also regular stories. We love our regulars and their
because
lives.
we have, like we know what they're up to. We can ask them questions. Actually, I really like that bit about our job.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so many customer service stories. I want to ask you a question because there's only a few people in my life that I can proper belly laugh with.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got my mum because we're so similar, my sister, and then my daughter Amy because we're similar. My husband is not a belly laugher. And TJ, my son, is a laugher, but then will get fed up of us continuing to laugh about the silly things. And we laugh about silly things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I only have that with a few people. And then at the end of sometimes laughing, we're like, what the hell were we even laughing at? Because it's, you just I feed off of you laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just becomes so much that you can't breathe. You need to move away from that person. I want to know who you can belly laugh with, and because it just makes you feel so good.
I think in my Canadian life, I think it would probably just be you and occasionally my sister.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't think I've really found that extra bit of relationship with people, like friendships here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here long enough. I've been here 6 years, but I still find that I'm figuring that part out. Mm-hmm. I think I probably could have named a few people in New Zealand back in the day when I was there. But here it's you and my sister and I, it's more, we love a good dad joke, me and my sister, and we've got the same sense of dry, witty humour.
Yeah.
And I think also what's funnier in the belly laughs with her, which maybe is similar to us but in a different wavelength, is that my nieces will be, and my nephew will be listening to my sister and I, and then they'll roll their eyeballs at us, which makes us laugh even more.
That happens in my
because we've just said a really funny dad joke that's just punny and witty, and then they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you guys just said that, and now you're laughing. And then we laugh at the fact that they're not laughing.
Yeah, it's even funnier when the people you're with don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
So if Amy and I are laughing, and Scott just looks over and was like, what are you even laughing at? It makes it funnier. Then he'll pause the TV and be like, okay, have your laugh. And
get it out of your system.
Are you ready? And we go, yeah. He turns it back on again and we start all over again.
But the great thing between working with you and the belly laugh situation is that there are times that when you're working with somebody that you get along with so well and you know so well, is that you don't even have to be next to one another. And you don't even have to be a part of the conversation, but you can be on one end of the cafe and I can be on the other end or behind the counter. Something will happen. We'll catch each other's eyes and we can either take a moment to have a good old chuckle because we know exactly what we're thinking, or we just have to turn away and not look at each other because we know we're just going to lose the plot.
Sometimes if something funny happens and I know you're standing next to me, I'm like, I cannot look at you now because I'm going to be very unprofessional. I have laughed when I've laughed, but I've had to explain to people, I'm so sorry I'm laughing, but you've pronounced that sandwich wrong and it's really made me laugh. So I own it if I have to start laughing. But I've got something funny to bring up that happened to us and we couldn't belly laugh, but we really, really wanted to.
Was that between us, me and you? Us?
You and me.
Okay.
So we go to a yoga studio in our local town and do you know what I love about it? I'm going off a little bit, but what I love about yoga is when I get there, I'll sit down often, not lay down, and I'll just people watch all the different. Do you want a sip of your tea?
Because I'm holding.
Holding it neat. Like, should we pause so you can have a sip of your tea?
I'm holding my tea.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to rush my story so you can have a sip of your tea.
I'm so sorry. I just realised what I was doing. I did want a sip of my tea, and so I had got my teacup, and I lifted it off the ground, and I'm holding it mid-air, but I'm enthralled in what you're saying.
I'm like,
so
you're not having a sip of that. I'm going to finish my
I'm gonna
story.
put my tea
Put your
down,
cup down.
and I'm going to listen to you because I want to hear what you're saying, but my
So-
tea is also calling me.
It is, because we don't want it to go cold. Maybe when I've done this story, you can press pause.
Have a cup of tea.
Have
Have
a
a
cup of
sip of tea.
So sometimes I sit on my mat and I'll have a look around, and there's so many. I love watching the people set up for their yoga. So some of them are so precise, and their blocks are in a certain spot, and then they move them a centimetre so that they're in. I mean, I don't like to be ski whiff on my mat. I like to be straight on my mat. So I guess I've got those things as well.
Sure.
Then there's some people that come in and unfurl their mat like they're wafting a sheet, and it just goes brum on the floor, and everyone was trying to be like all zen.
Mm-hmm. And then there's this big noise of wafting
And it's
happening.
like chucking your stuff down and putting your keys, and such a big palaver. And there was one lady that came in and she rolled her mat out, and it was not as straight, and I wanted to go, it was bugging me. I'm like, how do you lay on that knowing that you're like not
Wonky on the
yeah
floor.
you're wonky. Anyway, this is a different story, but we were at yoga.
Okay.
So I had told you about this person before, that there is somebody at yoga that comes in at the end and is quite heavy-footed. And I hear it. I hear them come from the
And
door.
they come and
And
lay
they-
down bottom, like back left-hand corner.
Yes, behind
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Because we try and get the same spot, because I don't like to be under the heat things. I like to be away from them.
Yeah,
we
because
get too
this is a heated room yoga,
Yeah, which I like. But
Which
if
is
you're under
good.
those panels,
but there is a
bit of
certain
menopause,
spot in
and
this
it's just
particular
not
yoga
fun.
studio that doesn't have heated panels.
Mhm.
So especially when the menopausal waves of heat were coming over you, you
Yeah,
couldn't be under
I
those.
need to be
So we kind of always pick those spots, and then I also don't enjoy heat either.
Yeah.
And so we go to that
we
area.
have to get there early to get
Yeah.
the spots.
So we're there, and
Yeah.
then you're telling me about this
So
person.
we're laying down, we're doing our thing, we're laying down, we've got our arms, eyes closed, and I've told you about this person, and I hear the door just before the class is going to start, and then it's boom, 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 and I'm like, I know what Joe's thinking right now. And it gets closer and closer and closer, and this person doesn't sit down on the mat quietly either. So there was this big whoosh as they sat down, and then as they leant back, there was a fart. And I'm like, oh my God.
I
So
remember
I
this.
am like shaking on my mat, and I'm like, I cannot look. I didn't know that you would be doing the same, and we had to be like, try and pull ourselves together to start our class, because at the beginning it's all relaxing and big deep breaths, and I'm like, oh my God, I know what Joe, I know that the person next to me is trying not to laugh just as much as I am, but that would have been that was a belly laugh that you had to keep in, like you used to have to at school when you were in assemblies, like you just couldn't. I'd forgotten about it, and then when we were talking about belly laughs and stuff, I'm like, oh, that was one time I really had to rein it in. It's hard to do.
It is hard to do. Can I tell you about one time that I'm thinking of?
Mhm.
It happened a couple of weeks ago. We have a cabinet that has our baked goods in it, and we had the doors open. You know exactly.
Yeah.
There was a customer who was waiting, and Helen was on the espresso machine, and I saw the customer. I was like, right, I'll go get the customer, and I just very confidently just like kept on walking, not recognizing that the doors to these cabinets were open behind it, and so this little tiny alleyway that you got to walk through is past these cabinets, and I just
Full
walked
on.
straight into them, and I could feel my whole body kind of like lurch back, and I just had this cartoon image in my head of like this cartoon image whacking into a window and then kind of like stumbling
Ricocheting
backwards.
off.
And it was so funny.
It was your face, because your face was all distorted when you like walked into it.
because I just couldn't realize how dumb I was, and I didn't actually pay attention that the doors were open.
You were in such a hurry to get to the till.
And
I saw it.
I-
I saw it happen. It was funny.
I haven't lost it that badly at work in a long time.
Then you had to go and serve the person. I just left you to serve them because I was too busy laughing at
But
the
I
time.
also had the giggles while I was surfing them. And this person, like, she saw what happened. But at the same time, I looked at her face and I was like, you need to, talking to myself, Joella, you need to rein this in because this person doesn't give a shit about whether you just whacked yourself into the cabinet.
They probably haven't even seen
They
it.
just want their coffee.
Right, let's have a bit of tea.
Have a bit of tea. Well,
yeah, a cup of tea. Oh, unless you have something else to say.
No. I was just going to say. So, dear listener, this is just a great introduction in terms of getting to know us a little bit, of how we banter with one another, how we get the giggles with certain situations. And we hope that you also learn how to have belly laughs with us, just because you're laughing along with us. And so maybe it's just a bright spark in your day.
In your week, in your day. Actually, laughing, there is that saying, isn't there?
Laughter is the best medicine.
Thank you, because I couldn't remember it.
I know, you started saying that and you looked at me. Please
help. Please help. I don't know what it is. Oh, that's too funny. But yes, it is. Because when you have done that, I can't breathe. And then at the end of it, Amy and I always go, oh, dear. You feel great.
You do feel great.
Yeah.
Although sometimes when you go to give belly laugh, your abs hurt a little bit afterwards.
Oh, yeah, the next day you might feel it. But that doesn't matter because that's all for a good cause. Or I always have to have my legs crossed.
Because you might pee accidentally.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Or if we're walking and something funny's happened, you'll keep walking and I'm still behind with my legs crossed, bent over. I can't walk and laugh at the same time. I've not prepared myself with my tenor lady or something before I've gone out. All right, pause the tea. This is too much information.
Cup of tea break now. We'll be back. And C has been tipped. Tea has been sipped.
I wasn't quite ready. Yeah, tea has been sipped.
Tea has been sipped, and we are back.
We are back. So we've stopped laughing. We're going to try and do a serious bit. Okay?
Well, we'll try.
We'll try. So although we've got loads of funny customer service stories, I wanted to touch on the fact how when you're in customer service, I guess in any job, you're at work so much that the team of people that you work with are very important to you, and very important that you build the right team of people. Well, from a manager's point of view, it's important that we build the right team of people for whichever environment you're in. And they're like, I found when I worked in England, I had a place where I worked and it felt a bit like family. Mm-hmm. And I think it's rare to find. And then moving to Canada, I've managed to find it again, and way more, as a family. Like, this is my second family. Mm-hmm. You care about people as, like, it is just family. I can't describe it. Although you have to work, it's different.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's a very unique perspective to have, because I would say that a lot of people would look at their workplace and say, this is not my family, this is just a place that I go to from 9 to 5, and I do my job and I go home and I go home to my family. But I wonder too, if both of us being from a different country, and then, well, you said that you got it from England as well.
I did have it in England. I did have it in England where I felt really comfortable, and a lot of those people I have still kept in touch with, but this actually does feel different.
Mm-hmm. But it makes a difference too when, I came over to Canada and the only person that was here that I knew in the entire country was my sister and her husband, and they had 5 kids. They have 5 kids. They were here and they still are, but that was my only connection, and I had absolutely no one else. And so for me, working in this workplace and our friendship has definitely been that extra source of, this is my extended family. This is... Yeah, it has become that comfort level of, these are my people and they'll have my back if anything.
Yeah, it's a nice
needed.
feeling. Mine was a bit different because I moved with Scott and the 2 kids, and we moved here, and although they weren't my direct family, like my mum or my dad or sister.
They were your immediate family that you made yourself.
Yeah, and then we had Scott's dad and Val, and then Scott's uncle and cousin. So it's not like I didn't know people here, and they made it, they were so super helpful. And we stayed with his grandmother and we stayed with his dad, and then we got our own place. And so I guess it was slightly different for me. I had a few more people. But, and then getting this job, like I was so excited to get this cafe environment job. because that's what I love. And it's working with people that have the same passion as you, and then meeting regulars every day, because then they become part of your family. So, but we do pride ourselves in, we don't employ people for their experience as such. We employ people for their personality.
Well, and like you said, as a manager, you try and cultivate that environment with the people that you bring together. And we want to be able to produce an environment for customers to come and share that experience with them as well. So it trickles down from what you try and create with your staff, and then therefore who we are as staff and how it affects customers. Because I know that there's a lot of times where like customers have said to both of us, just watching how you guys work, it's a very, very well-oiled machine in the sense of how we all work together, especially when it's really busy. We have become a really well-oiled machine, and that takes work. That's not just a thing that we take for granted. No. That's something that we've worked hard to be able to create. And I think that's a special thing that we've created at our workplace, because I don't think everyone has that.
No, I don't think they do. I mean, we seem to think that they do, because when we go into another place, you know, like you've discussed with me before, like you're going to get a coffee from a Starbucks or something, and how do you feel when it takes so long, or there's no, and it's like, oh my God, for fuck's sake, I could make this drink quicker, or there's no, like,
you can see a lack of leadership, or not even a lack of leadership, but you can see that there are some things have broken down, or you can see that, oh, this person is way over their head right now just because it's so busy. And it's just what happens in the industry.
But
and it makes
but no one's looking. It just seems to me sometimes, and it's not just, I'm not knocking Starbucks. It's not just Starbucks. It's lots of other places where you feel like somebody needs to just look around and go, oh, I need to, you know, like a leadership needs to go over and say, what can I do? Let's get this done for you. But there's so often that's not the case. And you're like, oh my God, that poor person. I only want a coffee, and they've got 6 frappuccinos or whatever to make. And there's not that order of, maybe I should just get rid of this person by giving them their coffee. Or there's not someone coming over and saying, let me get rid of some of this. Because it must look so daunting for them when they're seeing all these drinks come through. But yeah, we have worked really hard on that, and that's why it's family. I mean, people, you know, ask us questions or ask us help, or are so happy to tell us stories because of what we've created. So they really are part of the whole system for us, and they come back. We can't get rid of them until they've like gone and got their real job, as it's put, because we have them from like grade 10 often.
Yeah, and I think that's a special part of the place that we work in, and maybe a lot of cafes, but maybe not. Maybe this might not be the experience. I don't think it was my experience in New Zealand, if I'm trying to think of the places that I did work in.
Yeah.
But we very much have a lot of younger staff that start when they're in grade 10 or 11 or 12 in the last years of their high school experience, and then they still keep on coming back, and they still want to share their lives with us. And yeah, I think I mean, I'm going to give you a compliment, so you can suck it up and swallow it. But that's also what you do really well as a manager, is that you allow these young kids that we work with a voice and a space to be able to be heard. And if they've got an idea, we listen and we implement it, and it might flop or it might take place. And so I think that's a special part of our environment as well, is that especially us as a leadership team want to create that culture. And I find it really neat that these kids can come along and have that workplace and experience, I've got a voice, and I can maybe share maybe this sandwich or maybe this drink or maybe this idea, and we'll give it a go, because why not throw something up against the wall and see if it sticks, and if it doesn't, move on to the next thing.
The owner and our boss lets us throw things up against the wall and try stuff, and we try not to come up with too many shit ideas, but most of the ideas have worked to some extent. Some of them haven't. But yeah, he lets us do that, and then we let our staff do that. And what I think is really neat is when they come in at grade 10 and they've never worked in this environment before. And I do say to them when I'm offering them the job, your parents do know that this is like a cafe, restaurant, kitchen, and there is going to be some effing and jeffing that goes on, you know, because sometimes kids, I don't know, over the grade 10s, maybe in my day and age, which was a long time ago. But
I think times might have
Yeah,
changed by that
just
point, and
to
I
let
think
you
grade
know
10s
that
and
this-
11s have been exposed to a few things that maybe we weren't when we were in that age.
probably more than what I even know now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they come into that environment and we just nurture them, and then you just see them flourish. And then by the time they go, you're like, if you just look back to where you came from. And we've been a part of that. We've been a part of teaching them some life skills and confidence, and the jobs that you learn in customer service, you can take through to any job, because if you can deal with that kind of stress and that environment and all the different people that you have to work with, then it sets you up pretty well for most things.
Yeah. And it is really neat to see them graduate from university and then step into their field of work. And, you know, a couple of years later, you hear about what's their name, who used to work for us for 5 years, and then now they're in this position. You're like, wow.
Well, now one of our people just bought a house.
Really?
Yeah, they've got a house, or they've got married. Well, actually more than one, from since when I got married, kids.
Yeah.
There's a young girl that works for us that has now got her own business, a very successful business. They were on Dragon's Den. Like, it's just so amazing.
It's really cool. One of the girls that I used to work with, so she was young. Well, I say young, like late teens. And we started out together in this new cafe, and now she owns it. Which is just, it's really neat to kind of see that transition as well of, you know, probably like 10 years later, she's now the owner of the place that we used to work in and still allowing it to flourish. So, yeah, that's awesome. Just the really neat things about our position and our sense of leadership, to be able to just watch these people develop who they are and see their character flourish and be a part of that for a moment in time.
That is awesome. I do like that. Mm-hmm. So during this podcast journey, we will be gathering some stories possibly from them for things that they've done. I know that I've already got a few written down for other places that people have worked, and
other places that we've worked.
And some funny stories. So some of our staff may be getting a mention, and some stories, obviously, they've all been asked and they've given it to us willingly, but they're so excited for us to be doing this. So we'll definitely include some of their stories. Do you have anything funny happened this week to you?
Not that I can think off the top of my head. So if you've got one, you roll with it. Well, I've got one from ages ago.
Okay. This is a customer funny. So it was early in the morning, and these two lads came in, like lads, building site kind of look.
I love that you made an action and no one can watch us.
I did a bit of an Oasis move, you know, like.
What do you mean Oasis?
You know how
like the band Oasis?
Yeah, Noah and Liam walk when they were lads. No, you need to Google.
I'm going to have to Google that one.
Google that.
Okay, so you did an Oasis walk just then. It was very entertaining to watch.
Not a proper walk, just my top.
They weren't sauntering in. They were lads.
Lads with their big dirty boots on. Anyway, they're looking up at their breakfast board, and he's like, "What are you having?" It's like, "I don't know what you're going to have." And he goes, "I think I'll have a Quickie." And I was like, and his mate was just like, "Whoa, for God's sake." And I said, "I'm really sorry, sir." I said about that. This is not that kind of establishment. And his mate was just like, you know, like whacking him on the arm, like he was having a belly laugh with his mate. He said, "It's a quiche." Oh my God, it was so funny. His mate was just, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll have one of those." A Quickie. But yeah, I was quite quick with my response, which was quite good.
I'm very impressed with the quickness of your response. Yeah. I really wish I would have been there that day. I don't even think I was in the country living here at that time.
This was a long time ago.
You told me that story so many times, and it gets me every single time. I wish I just would have been there to watch it unfold. He was mortified as well. He was like, "Oh my God, how embarrassing." And I think he was probably glad that it wasn't that busy first thing in the morning. They were one of the first customers, so it was the first thing that happened in my day. "I'll have a Quickie." People are always saying things wrong from the menu. They are. It's so entertaining.
It is entertaining.
But then sometimes, especially when it's busy, you kind of just look at them and you think, "Are you that dumb?"
Although, here's a question for you. Have you ever been a weekender yourself when you've gone out? Well, I have. Because
I'm thinking you're asking the question. You probably already have your own experience
I have
to share.
Well, because of who I am and how sometimes I'm just a bit
airy-fairy.
Doolally and airy-fairy, yeah. Or I don't hear them properly and then I just answer incorrectly and I'm like, oh, God.
I think because I've worked in customer service for majority of my life, I'm very intentional when I go to places. I'm not a look at a menu before I go person.
Oh, I am.
I know you are. The minute I said that, I'm like, you already know exactly what you're ordering before you go to a place.
Yeah, we're going out at the end of the month and I know
You already know. You already know what you're ordering. I'm not that kind of person, but I am try my best to make my mind up and be decisive. And if I'm not, I'm also verbal about it. Or if I know that I've made a cock up or something, I will say, I don't know. I'll also make a laugh at myself.
Yeah.
So I'll fill in the awkwardness, or I'll fill in I've just made a dick of myself. I know what I've just said. But I'll say it out loud and I'll acknowledge it because I'm like, yep, said that wrong. Or I don't know. I kind of do that and I don't know if it's me saving my own skin or if it's like,
well, half the time I don't know that I might have said something wrong. I probably get talked about in kitchens and be like, I can't believe what that woman just said.
Okay, so you asked me the question. You clearly have
it has happened a few times. Well, my kids love to pick me up on things, and some of it is the way I say something, but most of the time it's because I've not listened or I haven't heard properly. So I'm doing a bit of a mum because my mum does that with her hearing. She doesn't hear, so I think I'm turning into mum. We were at a burger place, and I ordered everything properly, and she's asked me what kind of bun I wanted, but I thought we were done with that. Like I thought I'd ordered, and I just went, yeah. And the kids were like, Mum, what kind of bun do you want it? Then I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. What are the choices? I'm like, so normally
you were a weekender in that moment because that's exactly what a weekender does.
Absolutely, I was a weekender.
Oh boy,
I'm a weekend. I think I'm a weekender, but in the week, because I'm a weekender that goes out in the week, and they're like, what are you doing out? So it's because my days off are in the week. I'm always working.
Yeah, they're like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
it's not the weekend.
Are you okay? Are you lost?
Okay, so because you've given me the example, I'm now like actually remembering what I would do. And I remember there are times when I'm driving through a drive-through and something like that will happen. What I do is I'll say, yep, completely zoned out, didn't even hear you right there. I'm sorry, what? And so that's how I will acknowledge the situation to kind of say, yeah, I completely just bypassed the choice of bun. So you want to repeat that one?
That's a pretty good way to do it, but also be careful that you don't get into the stage where you're explaining yourself.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, but you might be on the next level. It's like moving from Radio 1 to Radio 2.
You're going to have to explain what that means.
So Radio 1...
Because I know what that means. This is a British...
yeah, right. So there's Radio 1 in England. Actually, I still like listening to Radio 1. But so it's got all the up-to-date music. It's got, everything trendy. It's what you would listen to when you were younger.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden there's a little switch and you might make it to Radio 2 and you're like, oh, I remember this. If they go back a bit. So then you become from Radio 1 and then you don't know any of the new stuff and you move to Radio 2. So you might be, oh no, I don't explain myself. And then all of a sudden you'll be one day, oh, I didn't, like you would explain what people do to us and we're like, we don't care. And that's what you do. And that's what I do. I explain and I don't need to explain and it drives the kids mad. But my mum does it too. Oh, I thought that said carrot and it doesn't say carrot and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, nobody needs to know this. Nobody needs to know. Just shush. Shush on your thoughts.
Oh, I really hope I don't become a Radio 2 person. I probably will. Let's just face it. It's age. It happens.
Yeah,
you just
will,
naturally switch over.
Great. This song was great back in the day. You won't hear great back in the day songs on Radio 1. I love a bit of Radio 1 though. I do. I like to try and keep up. It's a good thing about working with young people. It does keep you a bit younger. Like there's certain things that are said and I'm like, what does that mean? And they tell you and you're like, oh, I'm feeling all hip now. And but it's not hip, I've been told.
No. There are certain times where the kids will say to me, hey Joe, do you say the words, what was the example the other day? Do you say fire, like it's fire? And I was like, I'm sorry, you have to explain to me. What do you mean? I know what fire means. can you explain in the young terms what this means? I'm not even old.
Or sick.
And I'm like, so she explains it to me. She's like, your nieces and nephew will probably say that. And I'm like, they probably will, but this is just stupid. The word's fire. I'm guessing it sounds like it's awesome or it's amazing.
So
it's just like, but it was one of those moments.
Maybe
where I was like,
you're already on Radio 2.
This is probably what it feels like to be on Radio 2. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't really care what the new slogans are because let's just talk English.
One time when I was in a bookstore and I was with Amy, and Amy was quite a bit younger, and I said, we should get this book for Dad for Christmas. We should defo get this. Mum, you cannot say defo.
Did you say defo?
I said defo.
You said defo.
Yeah. And I was like, you can't say defo. That's just, you're too old to say defo.
There's a fine line.
There is a fine line.
Yeah.
When I went to a drive-through a few summers ago with Amy, we were getting Diet Coke because sometimes that just
hits
the
spot.
McDonald's Diet Coke. Something about that.
There's something about McDonald's Diet Coke and Coke.
Right.
They're all different.
Because I don't like that sugary.
Yeah.
I'll have a Diet Coke with a giant Big Mac. Like, I'm one of those people. It's not because I'm on a diet. It's because I prefer the taste. So we get to the drive-through. We asked for what we wanted. And then there was a bit of silence. And I just went to the speaker and said, is there anything else? Like, I thought I was still at work. Can I get you anything else? Or something along those lines. Amy just fell about laughing. And then we completely got the giggles. And then she started to ask me something that I couldn't answer because I was barely laughing. Such an idiot. See, that's a mum thing to do. That's a weekender thing to do.
It's a weekender thing to do.
I'm more of a weekender than you think.
Oh, dear.
I might need a bit more tea.
We'll have a pause and have another cup of tea.
It's a bit cold now.
All right, we're back. So we have a fun segment that we want to do this week, and it is called "Ba-da-ba-ba-ba." Who does that?
Who does that?
Who does that? It's said in so many different tones of a frustrated, what I just said, who does that? Or, who does that?
Mine are always in my head, for fuck's sake, who does that? Or it's, seriously? Who does that?
Yeah, see? There's so many different tones. So insert whatever tone you'd like to insert for this segment of who does that. You've got one. Do you want to share yours straight away?
At home.
Okay. I've got a customer service one. So,
right, so I'll be quick on my
You do your home one.
So we have different levels of when the garbage is full at home, basically.
Okay.
My level is when it reaches the top.
Right.
It's full. Other people that I live with in my house think, oh, I can fit some more in there. That's not full. I'm not going to change that. So just keep piling bits of garbage on the top and then opening the door slightly and sliding like a crisp packet or something. It's not full yet. On the top and shutting the door. And then I'll go in there and it's like, but it's over the, like it's piled up on the garbage now. And then I'll change it. I'm like, but who does that? Who doesn't think, oh, I'll just keep going. I'm not changing it. I'll just keep going. Or the other thing that happens is they will push it down, but they'll push it down and they'll push the bag down with it.
And they don't lift the bag sides up.
So it gets pushed down and they're like, oh, there's more room. Put my garbage in, So then I'll go and change it after it's piled high. And I can't change it because there's no bag to get hold of because the bag's in the bottom.
So you've got to go armpit deep to go and try and find the bag.
Armpit, it's only a pedal bin. It's only like a little foot one under the sink. But still, so I've got to root around and try and find the bit of bag to pull up. And then you've got garbage on the floor. So that's definitely a, for fuck's sake, who does this? Knowing full well who does this.
Who does it? Yeah.
People in my house. So that's mine for the week.
Okay. My who does this segment is, like I said, customer service related. And this is my frustration that happens often. As a server, if you have a tray full of drinks, you have navigated the weight distribution of all of those drinks on that tray. And if you're pretty good, you can carry it out on one hand with, I don't know, maybe like a good maximum of 7 drinks.
Oh, yeah. If you're a good server, you've got one hand, this loaded.
Yeah.
And food.
You are piled high and you've got food on the other hand as well. So you've got some situations going on and it's all meticulously balanced. And then you can walk. You can saunter off into the restaurant. You can lay things down. And you know when you're taking things off of that tray, you're doing it in a certain order so that you can still maintain that balance and serve the people and look professional. What I say to myself in the who does that moment is when I come over and people think that they're either helping you or they don't think at all and all they see is their drink and they're going to take it. And they reach out to grab something off of that meticulously balanced tray. What they don't understand is that whatever they're going to pick up is going to imbalance the tray, and you either have to grab it really quick so it doesn't spill over everyone or it goes everywhere. Thankfully, I've not had the go everywhere situation before.
No.
But it is, and I've always caught it really quickly. And there have been some times where I will say to people quite abruptly, please don't do that.
You wouldn't do
I
that.
actually don't say, please don't do that. I'm not that polite in those moments.
Well, you've got to be quick. If
But
you say please, it's too late.
Yeah, I'm like, I remember this group of ladies and they were reached out to grab something and I said, oh, wait a second. What you're going to do right now is not helpful. I said, I'm going to tip it over. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then another lady who I didn't get a chance to do that because she was so dang quick. She was like a whatever action of an animal goes with that particular sound. And she just reached out and she grabbed her drink. She's like, oh, that's mine. And I was like, first of all, how the hell do you know that that's your drink?
Margaret. That's another story.
That's a great story for next week's episode. Yeah. Tune in for Margaret. Anyway, and then I put the drinks down. But I always go away thinking, who does that?
Somebody that hasn't, that's definitely somebody that hasn't worked in the industry. Like there's no way you would do that.
I would never do that.
No. Never.
So anyway, as you can tell by my tone just telling the story, I get wound up.
That pisses Joe off. Please don't do it.
But yes, that's just one of those things but also, again, if you've never worked in the hospitality industry before, you think that you're just helping.
You're
it's
helping.
Like,
yeah,
you're
doing
not
a
helping.
Nice thing.
Just keep your mitts to yourself. Let us serve you because that's our job. And not spill drinks all over you. There's going to be
so many who does that. I've taken some pictures of some who does that.
Oh, so do I.
Instagram. So I need to move away from who does that, and I need to tell you a story because this is how we've decided to end our podcast every episode. Mm-hmm. So back in October, cast your mind back, a gentleman came in.
In October?
Oh, it's not October, is it? That's Thanksgiving.
I was like, you're talking about Remembrance Day, and that's in November.
I'm such an idiot. I thought it was October. Right? In my head, it was October 11th. It's November 11th. Sorry. So sorry.
So confident telling the story.
I was so confident. I was like, so professional there. God damn it.
What do you call... When is Remembrance Day for you? Is it November?
Yes, it's exactly the date you said, not even October.
11/11?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The 11th hour of the
11th hour.
Day.
Right.
The 11th month.
We don't have that in New Zealand.
No.
We've got Anzac Day, which is Australia, New Zealand, something. This is me showing my ignorance in my history right now. And that's in April.
Right.
So different remembrance, but for the same purpose. Anyway, so in November.
In November, on the 11th. Maybe the 11th hour, I don't remember. Anyway, this guy came in with what I'm thinking was his son, and the son was having difficulty keeping his poppy in his outfit choice of the day. So, I said, I can help you with that. I've got a trick. So I get their masking tape and I put it around the end of the poppy once it's in and it stays on, it doesn't come off and everybody's happy. He orders his drink and he says, oh, thank you, that was such a good idea. I'm like, no problem. So I handed him his drink and he paid and off he goes. And instead of me saying, I can't even get it right now.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. I went, have a good idea. Because he just said that was a good idea. And I yelled out, have a good idea.
Instead of,
and then,
see you later.
And so then we made eye contact and I knew that I'd messed up. And he just went, yeah. And I just went, yeah. So at the end of our podcast, it's going to be have a good idea.
So if you get to the end of it,
we're not here yet. We're not at the end.
No, not right now.
Not now.
I'm not
Don't have a good
that.
idea yet. Oh, I thought that's what you were saying.
When you get to the end of it,
When we get to the end of it.
and we say have a good idea,
Now
then
you
you'll
know what
the
it means.
context.
So that's why I had to put the poppy story in.
Because there are times where we're saying something to a customer and instead of saying, go ahead, you can pay, Helen says, go hard.
Go hard. The still in there. Go ahead. And then I gestured to where the debit machine is, and I've done it twice now.
You've done it twice?
Yeah, once before,
Yeah.
but I couldn't remember how I'd said it. I'm like, how did I say that? How would I have said that? Go hard. And then you were right there, and now you can remind me every time I forget what it is.
Yeah, you
but
said go hard.
Go hard. Fuck. I hope he hasn't heard me say go hard. You were standing right next to me then, and I looked over. I'm like, oh, she didn't hear me because we would just lose it. But as soon as he left, I was like, I just said go hard to that guy to do the debit machine. Oh, they just get mixed up. Words just get mixed up, but they're the funniest moments.
We're doing the same thing over and over again for 8 to 10 hours every single day. And sometimes instead of saying, bye, have a great evening, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, shit, okay.
Or you say hello and they're leaving, or the opposite way. Well, I do. Bye. I'm like, oh, bugger, you've just arrived. Luckily, bye and hi sound similar. I could get away with it.
This is the facetiousness of me coming out, is that there are times when people are leaving and I say, bye, thank you for coming, and then they just don't pay attention. So then I start having the conversation. I'm like, that's okay, you don't have to chat to me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Yep, you can't hear me and you've gone. Okay.
It's just in our heads. Or I just go, oh, good chat, mate. There's another segment that we're going to do for as long as we can with these questions. We have a gentleman that works for us in the kitchen. He's called Milo, and he's very inquisitive and asks lots of questions. And when he leaves to go to university,
going to be a hole in the days.
Yeah, because he's a day shift person mainly, so we spend a lot of time with him. And he asks the most. Try and say asks without
Asks.
He asks us the most. Can't do it. The most random questions.
Where the heck did that come from?
It's a few thing like tasks.
No, masks. But why did you?
I said it. I heard the again.
So then you're like, you say it too.
Yeah. Asks. Everybody says when they do it. Masks.
Ask. When he asks.
It's weird, isn't it? Anyway. So
sorry, I just got caught up on that one.
It's great. So we're going to have Milo's question of the week. This is his question. These are how random they are. If you could be a chair, what chair would you be?
Now, for context, these are not questions that, it's been quiet and we're all bored and we've got nothing to do. No. These are questions that sometimes you're about to run food out or, hey, I've got a question for you. Not right now, please. Okay, wait till I come back. Okay, I'm back now. What's your question? If you could be a chair, what kind of chair would you be? And you're like, okay, all right. It's not about where's this or how much left of this. It's one of these questions. Okay. Can I give you 5 seconds? I've just got to go and run those drinks out. It's like, yeah. Bless him.
The reason why this one was so funny because we threw it back at Milo, and what chair would you be first of all? Because I would give Milo a chair that was just unique. He's one of a kind chair. No one else has got a chair like it. It's just a fantastic statement chair. That would be Milo for me. And he said that his siblings, when this question was asked, said that he was a folding chair. When I was like, I felt really sad for him. I was like, oh, Milo, what, you just fold it up and put it away when you don't need it or put it in the corner? He's like, yeah, I wasn't very impressed with that either. I felt so sorry for him. And I mean, we're just talking about, if you were a chair, but I've got this sudden mum thing like, oh, that wasn't very nice. Anyway, then I told him what chair I thought he would be. If I was a chair, what chair would I be? I think I would be a soft, lazy chair.
Like a lazy boy or
no,
like a beanbag?
Beanbaggy type morph yourself into it kind of chair.
And you disappear into the comfort.
Yeah.
And then you can't get up. And so when you get up, you
I'm kind of
make
describing
a spectacle.
myself. That's what kind of chair.
I'm sorry, I just got really great images of someone being stuck in a beanbag and then trying to get up.
Well, that's hard, isn't it?
It is.
Because you've got to roll over.
Yeah.
Unless you've got really
good core muscle
and leg muscles to just like pop yourself up. You've got to roll over off of the beanbag and then hopefully pop yourself up, or because you can't even lean on the beanbag because you're just gonna, your arm's just gonna disappear when you push yourself up.
So then what does that say about you then as your personality?
Not much. I think I'm not going on my personality.
Right. You're just going for what you would prefer to sit in.
Well, just because I don't know, I don't have a core. Like, really? I haven't used my core muscles in years, and I'm just a bit, I don't know. Your chair. Let's move on. What would you be?
I feel like this is a great introduction to Milo's questions and how we both answer them.
Yeah.
Because between the two of us, I am the more overthinker of the both of us. There were too many errors there. And so there are often times when Milo asks a question, and you'll have an answer straight away. And then I'll have 1,000 questions for his question. Or I'll say things like, does your chair describe your personality?
Yeah, you need to know all the details.
And I need to know all the details. Because as I'm trying to think, what kind of chair would I be? I feel like, you know those, I call it a pram that you put your baby in.
A buggy or a pram. A pram, yeah.
A pram?
Stroller, pram.
Stroller.
Buggy,
I think that's more the Canadian term.
Yeah.
So I think of those, those ones, those pictures and those videos where you see the dads especially, and they're in the car park at whatever store, and they're trying to fold their stroller or their pram or their buggy up, and they just can't because they haven't found like the right button, or it's all too confusing. I feel like I would be one of those chairs of just like, how do you go together? It doesn't work. You're too complicated. I don't know how to and then once you find the particular way to put it, it's like, oh, okay, it's just seamless. It just goes whoop.
Oh my God, you've just described my soccer mum chair. You are my soccer mum chair. I bought myself, when I was a soccer mum,
right,
a round chair, not just a folding camping, because I wanted to
Those
sit
are elite soccer mum chairs.
put my legs up and you get cozy while you're watching soccer. So I get my soccer mum chair and it's easy to sit up. It's open. When it's time to go home, I couldn't close it. Couldn't close it. I'm like, I don't know how. I couldn't do it.
Was it like you had to twist it and turn it in a certain way so it could
just had to
together?
Pull it from the front and the back. There was a knack to it. But I was going from the sides.
Oh.
Like, what? And I couldn't do it. So Amy came over and I'm like, still my big round chair. I can't put my chair. And then now once I've got it, and I see other people trying to shut it, I'm like, oh, that's so funny because that's what I did. So you are my chair.
Are a soccer mum chair.
You're my soccer mum chair.
Overcomplicated. See, and then there you go. There's my personality described right there.
Yeah, overthink. So my chair's not my personality.
No, it's just what you'd like to sit in, comfy.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just forgive myself as a comfy.
Well, yeah, you are a pretty comfortable person to be around.
Oh, that's nice. I'm a beanbag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of mold in and you
I'll
kind of
take that.
just come around someone and you're just like, oh, I'll give you a warm hug.
Not a cold hug. I'll give you a warm hug.
Not a cold hug.
We hope that you have enjoyed listening to week 1 of our podcast and you have to come back for week 2. Mm-hmm. And if you have to like and subscribe. I feel like that's very important.
Yeah, well done with those words.
Yeah, I remembered. Because
it helps us grow and get recognised and
maybe get a couple of listeners that
aren't our friends and family.
Friends and family. We also have an Instagram page. Do you
remember what it is?
I don't.
It is and.another.thing.podcast.
Nice.
And you'll be able to find pictures.
Yeah, there'll be pictures of us. Pictures of what we've eaten, probably, because we like to eat. Pictures of
some things that
we've talked about. Yeah,
our journey of what it's like to start a podcast, and we figure it out in the process. And also, if you happen to listen to us and you think, oh, I have some stories that I want to share about my experiences in customer service.
Oh, I would love.
Absolutely fire them through to us, because we would love to share them with everybody as well, because we have some, but no doubt you have some as well. So we have an email address. It is pod.andanotherthing@gmail.com. So reach out and give us a story or two.
I can't wait. Come on, people. Send me an email. Okay, we hope you join us next week. And that's all from us. Have a good idea.
Have a good idea.